I'm David Cantor. I'm the executive director of MLCommons, and so I get to work with fine folks who've done all the hard work here. And so just want to say thanks to everyone for coming out to support the effort and for your interest and your time. I'm really excited about MedPerf. And part of that is, my father's a physician, and so he's also the kind of physician who's always reading medical journals and has a stack of them in his office, and just, kind of excited about the latest research that comes out because of the potential for the impact it has. So it's just, really a privilege to welcome you all here. So, and just a big thanks to all of our partners here from Penn, from Intel and Dana-Farber. So it's been super exciting, and I am thrilled at the milestone we've hit, but even more excited for the things we're going to do in the future. So that's it. Peter, you're taking it from here.
Yeah, thanks, David. I'm Peter Matson. I'm the president of MLCommons. I'm also a senior staff engineer at Google, and very pleased to introduce the fine folks who put this effort together. Those include Dr. Spiros Bakos, an assistant professor at the University of Pennsylvania. He's leading global efforts in federated learning for medical imaging. He's a board member at McKay, the largest computational medical imaging society. I'm afraid he can't be here today, but we can connect you with him if you have any specific questions. However, with us are Dr. Alex Karagiris. He's a researcher in medical imaging and ML. He previously worked at the NIH and IBM. He is one of our esteemed co-chairs of the MLCommons Medical Working Group, which is responsible for MedPerf, as well as Dr. Micah Scheller. He's a staff research scientist at Intel's Security and Privacy Research Labs. He developed the initial version of OpenFL, which is an open source federated learning platform. He's the technical federated learning lead for FeTS, which is a effort that includes over 70 hospitals to look at the power of federated learning. He also leads our technical development team for MedPerf. And lastly, Dr. Renato Umatin, who is the director of artificial intelligence operations and data science services in the information analytics department at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. As of 2023, Dana-Farber is the #4 cancer hospital in the world, so we are very lucky to have him involved. He is the other co-chair of the MLCommons Medical Working Group. So those are sort of the core leads for the effort we'll be talking about today, which is MedPerf. This is some groundbreaking research that will be published next week in Nature Machine Intelligence. We'll tell you why benchmarking is so critical to machine learning and how MedPerf is our unique approach to doing that for healthcare. We'll talk about the studies we use to validate this approach and the future direction and next steps for the MedPerf project. I want to start today with a little bit about MLCommons. MLCommons is a nonprofit organization with a mission to make machine learning better for everyone. And how do we do that? We do it by bringing together a global community. So this includes many of the biggest companies in machine learning and AI, folks like Google, NVIDIA, Intel, Alibaba, a bunch of small companies, entrepreneurs doing exciting things like Coactive, and academic institutions from around the world. When I say make ML better for everyone, we do that by combining 3 pillars, and those pillars are benchmarks, data sets, and best practices. Benchmarking is particularly critical for machine learning because it is so analog in nature. Rather than programming things, we train them, and then we use benchmarks to understand their level of quality, their level of speed, their level of safety, and make sure that that's suitable for deployment. And in healthcare, It is vital that we have really reliable benchmarks for measuring the efficacy of our machine learning and AI solutions. There's tremendous opportunity here to move the field of medicine forward, but we want to make sure before we put something out in the world that it will work for diverse patients in diverse clinical settings. And that is what we are trying to ensure with the MedPerf effort. And to tell you more about how we do that, I'm going to hand this off to Alex. Alex, please go ahead.
Hey, thanks, Peter. Thank you very much. And thank you for putting the stage on this. So as Peter mentioned, MLCommons is a diverse organization that brings together two communities, the industry and the academia. Within MLCommons, there are research groups that focus on various scientific areas. And one of them is the medical working group, which is responsible for developing best practices and robust benchmarking for medical AI, as Peter mentioned before. So since its inception 2 years ago, the group has grown to include participants from global organizations. Each organization has been contributing to the group in various forums. As you can see, there is a strong balance between academia and industry to help drive a diverse effort. I just want to say here that we would like to thank all these organizations for their valuable contributions. So let's talk about MedPerf, the main part of this talk. So the group has been busy over the past 2 years researching and developing MedPerf, which is an open sourced software platform that aims at improving the impact of medical AI through robust benchmarking. In the next few slides, we will be talking about the importance and impact of this technology in the healthcare space. So we have all seen how AI has taken the world by storm, so many stories, and even so in healthcare. From designing new drugs to detecting Alzheimer's and breast cancer, AI has demonstrated its potential to advance healthcare delivery in unprecedented ways. However, reality is much different. AI models often are great in the lab, but when deployed in the real world, they might fail due to lack of extensive validation. And that kind of highlights the risks of bias, health inequity, and underperformance. So therefore, AI models need more diverse data in order to be validated extensively and subsequently to be improved. However, healthcare data are very difficult to acquire or share due to technical, regulatory, as well as privacy issues. So this leads us to a slow adoption of AI in healthcare. So to address these issues, that is one, the evaluation of AI models on diverse real-world data, and number two, access to data due to data privacy concerns. The group developed MedPerf. MedPerf is an open community software platform, as I said before, that provides the technical infrastructure to support evaluation of AI models on diverse real-world data. And to accomplish this, MedPerf relies on the concept of federated evaluation. That is the approach where medical AI models are securely, deployed and evaluated within the premises of data providers, hospitals, for example. This approach alleviates data privacy concerns and builds trust among healthcare stakeholders, AI providers, regulatory authority, bodies, leading to a more effective collaboration in the community. And moreover, I would say that MedPerf integrates human supervision across all the process. And we're doing this to ensure high level of integrity, accountability, as well as transparency. The platform is a neutral open-sourced framework, as its technology is designed by the broad industry as well as academic communities, allowing for extensibility as well as interoperability. So I feel like, we need to demonstrate with a visual example how MedPerf works to make things a little bit more simple. So this is a hypothetical example. So let's say you see at the center of the screen, let's say a research institute developed an AI model that detects brain tumor on MRI images, okay? And let's say that the model was trained with limited patient data from the local hospital. And we know that the model performs great on that population. Now, thanks to MedPerf, the performance of this model can be evaluated across diverse data in the world. The model can be evaluated, let's say, in a hospital in the United States, as you can see on the top left. Notice that the model is sent to the hospital and no data leaves the premises of the hospital. In this way, MedPerf guarantees, makes sure it alleviates concerns with patient data privacy. So patient data are not leaking. The process is supervised by humans. So there's a person in charge in the hospital that needs to approve and run the evaluation, the benchmark of the model, so that it gets, the accuracy performance back. Then, we can continue this across other, participating hospitals. Let's say about the bottom left, you can see Chile. Similarly, there is a person there responsible to approve and run the model against the local data. This process can be extremely powerful. And this is, a message I want to highlight, as it can help identify situations of underperformance of the model and potential bias. So let's say, such as in this example, where the model performed worse in certain areas of the world, as it highlighted with the red circles. These performance drops can be attributed to various indicators, many reasons. Maybe it's, the difference in the patient population. Maybe, it's difference, the operating procedures, different scanners, how, the model was developed, based on these indicators. All of this could be trivial differences, but can throw the model off and could be identified through the evaluation of AI using MedPerf. So MedPerf facilitates robust evaluation and can help with identifying potential bias. I will be passing to Renato, who will be talking about what we have done so far and where we're heading right now. Renato?
Thank you very much, Alex. So we pressure tested MedPerf open benchmark framework by supporting the largest real-world federated study today, which is the Federal Tumor Segmentation Challenge. That alone entailed benchmarking 41 medical AI models across 32 hospitals and research sites in 6 continents. So all models showed, thanks to this experiment, somewhat degraded performances when tested on this real-world and larger scenario. And as a result, new research was initiated to improve such AI models. In addition, MedPerf was tested also on public and private data through medical research efforts across the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, Harvard School of Public Health, University of Pennsylvania, Penn Medicine, University of Strasbourg, IHU, and Agostino Gemelli University Clinic, to mention a few. At Dana-Farber, we work with MedPerf to benchmark the performances of a pancreas segmentation AI algorithm that we were developing. The pancreas is notably one of the most difficult organs to segment, both manually or with AI. Thanks to MedPerf, we were able to benchmark the performances of the AI algorithm that we were building. And our understanding of the AI model performance became much more comprehensive. For example, we could see cases where the model wasn't performing as well as we expected it to. And we were able to go back to the model and improve it, taking into account, for instance, differences in the configurations of the CT scan machines that acquired the images. As a result, we could refine the AI models and make them better. And with that, I pass it to Micah.
Thanks, Renato. So this year, MedPerf joined forces with an exciting project, the Federated Tumor Segmentation Initiative, or FeTS. This initiative started in 2018 as part of an NIH-funded joint research project driven by Penn Medicine and Intel, together with a community of medical researchers across the globe. Now, in 2023, the FeTS initiative is launching our next experiment, and will use the MedPerf platform to coordinate across their growing federation of over 70 hospitals. This experiment was commissioned by the Response Assessment in Neuro-Oncology Working Group, also known as RANO, to develop and test new methods for evaluating neuro-oncology treatments. RANO sets the widely accepted standard for brain tumor response assessments. In other words, the outcomes of this experiment could help set a new standard in how we determine the success or failure of brain tumor treatments. led by Dr. Evan Calabresi from Duke University, built on software from MLCommons, Penn Medicine, and Intel, and involving medical institutions from 6 continents. This experiment embodies the kind of open, community-driven, global research effort that I believe can bring about transformative changes in medical AI. And this is just the start. Our goal for the combination of MedPerf and FeTS is to enable many such studies in 2024, including expanding beyond neuro-oncology and medical imaging. Back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Micah. Yeah, I just want to highlight that it's important to mention that MedPerf is a community-driven platform. Without participation of all these diverse group of experts, I don't believe, MedPerf would have been developed. This is part also part of the DNA at MLCommons, open community with industry and academia. So we need experts who span from healthcare stakeholders, patient advocacy groups, AI researchers, all the way to regulatory organizations. We want to make sure we align our effort with the industry of all these groups. So this is very important. So to recap, here are the main, I would say, key features of MedPerf. It is an open source platform driven by open community. It supports evaluation of AI in real world data, which is the cornerstone of translating research to clinical practice. We have battle tested the technology in real world settings. We prioritize patient privacy. We aim, at building, benchmarks that are neutral and, of course, clinically impactful to drive better research and development of medical AI. So I'll pass back to Peter to help, conclude, the presentation. Peter.
Thanks, Alex. We just want to reiterate how grateful we are to have such an amazing group of people. You saw the long list of folks who contributed to this project in different ways. We couldn't do things like this without together a broad swath of wisdom and experience. I want to give a special thanks to Dana-Farber, Intel, and Penn, who contributed our leads and have really put a lot into this effort. You guys have done a tremendous job here and very excited about seeing where this goes next.